It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi
News.
.3 Citi FM. This is the Citi Prime News. We're broadcasting live from our studio at Adabraka here in Accra. I am Charles Ozukumi. This afternoon, traditional leaders in Central Region fume as government revises the royalty component of the Barari DV lithium agreement from 10% to 5%.
As we are directly being affected, we should have been informed beforehand. So that at least we can have some joy about it within even our communities.
Also in the bulletin, lawyers for Chairman Wontumi to file application for further disclosures as they argue key documents needed for his defense are missing from materials provided by the state. Still on the Citi Prime News. National Executive Council of Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana to meet tomorrow as the government pleads for 2 weeks to resolve their outstanding issues.
CITAG members are still on strike. The council meeting will take place on Friday, and whatever the council decision is, we'll communicate that to the public.
And later, all set for Channel 1 TV and Citi FM's Agri Fair, which begins tomorrow, November 28 to Sunday, November 30.
So we are bringing our rice, of course. We'll bring the cereal.
And the rice, there are types. The
yes,
green,
so
which is the broken.
The broken,
and then the red, which is the long green.
Yes.
All that and more coming up on this edition of the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studio for Madabraka here in Accra. In the Western region, you are listening to us on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both in Takrade. In the Bono region, we're on Green at 95.9 FM in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, you can listen to us live on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajevo and VOV Radio 95.7 in Hohoi. Alternatively, you can listen to us on citinewsroom.com.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful to you this afternoon for a time. Here now are the details of the bulletin. And traditional leaders in Ewoya, Krampakrum and nearby communities have rejected government's decision to cut Ghana's royalty rate for the lithium project from 10 to 5%. The chiefs say they were not consulted and described the reduction made after a request from Barari DV Ghana Limited over falling global lithium prices as a short change. Speaking to Citi News, Charles Bagrand, secretary to the Krampakrum chief, asked government to hold the new rates and properly engage all key stakeholders.
I feel very bad about it because as we are directly being affected, we should have been informed beforehand so that at least we can have some joy about it within even our communities. But all of a sudden, you were called, you were told this is what is going to happen. So bring out your suggestion. How do we give our suggestion to what we have not been given information before? So actually, we feel very bad about it. It looks as if they want us to come out with something that we are not prepared for, so that they can just get us on our wrong foot.
Is this to say that government has never engaged the leadership of these communities so far as this reduction in the percentage is concerned?
Not that I know about. Government has not given us anything on this.
You heard the voice of Secretary to the Chief of Krampakrum, Charles Bagrand. Meanwhile, Some residents of the communities say their livelihoods have been greatly impacted, even though the full-scale mining is yet to commence. The people, who are predominantly farmers, say they are no longer able to grow crops as a result of a possible destruction when Barawi DV Ghana Limited begins actual operations.
Yeah, we are not happy. That's why I'm saying that they have taken us for granted. Because in case of anything, we have the Amaihene here, the paramount chiefs. Even they've been going to the government to talk to the ministers. So in case of any message, they have to consult them. And they will come to us for our view. But they don't do that. They just sit there and say whatever they want to say, put whatever they want to put. Okay, talking about putting this message in the Ghanaian Times. How many people in this our community buy Ghanaian Times? If at times we don't get it at Mankasim here. So how are we going to get or receive that message? I think it is a trickish way of doing things from the government.
You had a resident of some of the communities impacted by the imminent mining of lithium in the central region. Away from that story, the Artisanal Small-Scale Miners Association in Obuasim has given government and Anglo Gold Ashanti a one-week ultimatum to secure a site for their operations. The group says members remain frustrated after the January 18 incident in which 9 residents were killed during a confrontation with soldiers guarding the concession. Addressing journalists, Secretary of the Association, Eugene Annan, accused Anglo Gold Ashanti of deploying military officers who continue to harass miners, warning they will take action if nothing is done.
Artisanal Small-Scale Mining Association of Obuasi wishes to inform the governments of the land and the entire Obuasi community about our grievances of our brothers who were shot dead on Saturday, 18 January 2025, and many left injured by military men on Anglo Ashanti AGA concession. The National Chief Imam, His Eminence Dr. Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu, on this issue came to Obuasi to console family members and promised us that they will talk to AGA to solve the problem. AGA promised to give a concession to a small-scale mine association to work, but up to now, the miners have not heard anything from AGA.
That was Secretary of the Artisanal Small-Scale Miners Association in Obuasi, Eugene Annan. In some more news, Member of Parliament for Yendi, Al-Hassan Abdul Fattah, says the High Court was right to annul the 2024 Pandai parliamentary election, arguing that Yendi's candidate's right to natural justice was breached during coalition. His comments counter the minority's accusation that Justice Emmanuel Bruplange acted irresponsibly in handling the petition. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily Show, the MP cited a Supreme Court's position on natural justice, insisting the ruling was legally sound.
At the time they concluded with the other police stations, and they were now coming to have the 41 police stations, I hear there were skirmishes. And so the place became so unconducive for them to continue. And the EC, the presiding officer, took the process to Tamale without informing the petitioner. So the respondent was aware that the process for the compilation and announcement of the other police stations, all the processes were being moved to Tamale. But the petitioner was not aware. And that is a serious breach of the rule of natural justice. I have always maintained that, even assuming without admitting that all the 41 police stations are intact, the figures there are correct, everything is perfect, just by not informing the guy that you are moving the center for the declaration. From Kandai to just by breaching that, you, the EC officer, you have committed a serious sin that can affect the entirety of the resource. So let's not talk about the irregularities in the 41 police stations. Let's talk about the breach of the rules of natural justice, which has been held even to the autumn. Supreme Court has said that once you breach someone's right to the rule of natural justice to be heard, that is the autumn party rule, whatever you do, whether it is 100% or not, everything is a nullity.
That was Member of Parliament for Yendi, Al-Hassan Abdul Fattah. Meanwhile, former Assistant Secretary at the office of former President Akufo-Addo, Ibrahim Ajay, maintains the judge should have ordered a rerun in just the 41 constituencies under contention and not the entire Pandai constituency.
The judge looked at the case, and the gravamen of the case said that why was the coalition sent to move? There was violence. And it was not through the EC, it was the police who said that we have to move the collation center. This was not a unilateral decision by the EC.
But was the petitioner informed?
That I don't know. The evidence suggests that he was not informed. No one has said the evidence. The allegation suggests so. So if you're not informed that the collation center has been moved, how is that you're only contesting 41? Think about it, logically. Collation center is where all 152 polling stations are collated. Yeah. You were not there, so how do you know what went on in the other 90 polling stations? Why did you, the petitioner, NDC parliamentary candidate, since you went at the collation center, how do you arrive at a decision that 90 of those polling stations are okay?
You had former Assistant Secretary at the office of former President Akufo-Addo, Ibrahim Ejaye, speaking earlier on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily program. Let's now head to the courts. Lawyers for Bernard Enchiboesiako, also known as Chairman Wontumi and Akontamainen, say they will file an application seeking a court order for further disclosures. They argue key documents needed for their defense were missing from materials provided by the states in the case alleging illegal mining on the Samraboy concession. During Tuesday's case management hearing, lead counsel Andy Apiakube requested time to file the motion. The court adjourned the matter to December 8 for the application to be heard. We're now joined on the phone lines by our court correspondent, Hansen Ajiman. Good afternoon to you, Hansen. Grateful to you. This very case, what exactly happened today in court? If you can just give us a brief background of the case and some of what the proceedings today.
So this relates to the case against Wontumi and Akontamainen, where he and Akontamainen are accused of allowing or permitting mining on the Samraboy concession without the requisite permission. And in court today, the parties, that's the prosecution as well as the accused, were supposed to undertake the case management conference, where prosecution essentially would have indicated the number of witnesses they were going to present, and the court will look into the number of days for them to testify, as well as for the defense to undertake cross-examination. However, when the prosecution had indicated in court that it was done with all its disclosures, lawyers for Chairman Wontumi indicated that we intend to file for further disclosures. According to them, they were under the impression that the state was going to do some further disclosures, but the state today indicated that it was done with its disclosures. And they note that there are certain documents that are with the prosecution, which the prosecution is not going to rely on, however, will be important for them to put up their defense. And so they are hoping to file an application for those documents to be disclosed and to be presented to them so that they can use it as part of their defense. The application itself has not been filed yet until the court ordered that they filed that application. The court also indicated that the accused should list the number of witnesses it will be minded to rely on, their names as well as particulars, in case the prosecution is able to prove a prima facie case against them and there's a need for them to open the defense. And so basically, this was the determination of the court, and the case has been adjourned. And at the next adjournment, it is expected that the court will go into the merit of the application for further disclosures from the lawyers of Chairman Wontumi.
All right, I'm grateful to you, Hansen. Hansen Ajiman is our court correspondent, giving us further information on the story that just broke from the court, that lawyers for Chairman Wontumi, who are saying that they will be filing an application to seek for further disclosures in the case against Chairman Wontumi. The state is accusing him of alleging illegal mining on the Samraboy concession. Away from the court, the Central Regional Minister Eduamwa Ochre Ekopinion says the Awutu-Senya East Municipal Assembly may face staff reductions due to widespread non-performance He notes that the Assembly's 154 staff, which is more than the Regional Coordinating Council, has not translated into improved output, especially in revenue mobilization, sanitation, and spatial planning. During a working visit, he directed the Municipal Chief Executive Seth Saba Sewonu Banini to monitor the staff for 2 weeks and identify underperforming workers for possible transfer.
I think for your strength, many of you are not working, because then you always have somebody in the office who will take care of your back when you are not there. We are also aware that some have virtually decided to run shifts. When government want to end the shift system at the schools, the assemblies are reintroducing them. And Kaswa is an exception. There are those who come to work and they work like that. They come and in 2 weeks they've not come before. But brother, I want you to look at that area. Let's get them. We have the information, but we want to get, somebody so that we'll be able to handle that matter. You have to come to work. If you leave, you leave. Come to work. Reposting, whatever they call it, into places like this. Be careful. Let's first and foremost, and I believe that should be the procedure, identify the strength of that department before you send in anybody. Don't just send people there to go and waste the spaces and waste state resources. There are places where your services are needed. And so it cannot be as usual that it is because that's what we've been doing. For that reason, in the next 2 weeks, we are having a program that will track the activities of the various departments.
That was the voice of Central Regional Minister Eduamua Ochiri Eko Penin. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM here in Accra. In the northern region, the bulletin is live on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In the Upper East region, we're on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu and Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo. In the Upper West region, we're on Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa 96.1 FM. Stay with us on the Citi Prime News, because when we return, we'll look ahead to Channel 1 TV and Citi FM's Agri Fair, which begins tomorrow, November 28 and ends on Sunday, November 30. We'll be back shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck, or maybe your bank accounts too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you, or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number, or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to the luckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number, or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you are abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more, and the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. This is Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM with me, Charles Osukumi. Let's do some more stories. And the National Executive Council of CTAG will meet tomorrow to consider government's request for 2 weeks to resolve outstanding issues. CTAG declared an indefinite strike on Monday, accusing government of failing to fully implement the National Labour Commission's 2023 Arbitral Award. Minister of Education Harun Idrisu has appealed to the association to suspend the action while concerns are addressed. President of CTAG, Maxwell Bono, tells Citi News the National Executive Committee will decide tomorrow whether to call off the strike.
As we have declared, CTAG members are still on strike. The council meeting will take place on Friday, and whatever the council decision is, we'll communicate that to the public. If you talk about the students, yes, they are important to us, but it cannot always be about the student and then leaving the teacher who is making the impact in the life of the student. The students, we also have our awards among them. We pay their fees, we feed them, we clothe them, And the money that we need to solve these problems are currently with the government. So please, we are concerned about them, but at this time, we want to have these issues resolved once and for all. CITAG is not strike happy. Anytime we go on strike, we have a lot of work piled up on us that we come back to do. So it has always been the last option. So all that we needed now is that the minister has promised 3 of the items that he was going to resolve. There's one outstanding. I think we should be able to meet and resolve that one. That is the 2022-23 book and research allowance arrears, because we know that the regulator pays pro rata to the traditional investors, and we wish this thing is resolved, once and for all.
You have the national president of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, Maxwell Bunu. Still on education, a think tank in the sector, EduWatch, has welcomed government's decision to include special needs education under GET Fund, describing it as a progressive step towards prioritizing learners with special abilities. The endorsement follows Education Minister Haruna Idrisu's announcement that plans are underway to make special needs education free through GET Fund support. Speaking to Citi News, EduWatch Executive Director Kofi Asare urged government to ensure prompt and consistent disbursement of funds to make the initiative effective.
I will be happy if such allocations are made within the context of policy. There is an inclusive education policy which has suffered inertia, from policy and budgets over the years. And so it is important that we situate all these allocations within the proper implementation framework of the inclusive education policy. It is welcome, as I said, because we've not seen such attention being paid to special education and PWDs in the past. So it's very, very much welcome. I want to say that it is one thing to allocate and another thing to disperse.
Kofi Asare adds that while increased allocations to program interventions are welcome, they may inadvertently result in meager funding for infrastructure development in the education sector, potentially slowing efforts to expand and improve school facilities.
Interventions, every intervention by the government will obviously find it with there because that's the only reliable funding source. But if that happens, we will end up denying the sector of infrastructure development, because as we speak, the only reliable funding source of infrastructure to the entire education sector is GET Fund. But unfortunately, we have a situation where almost 2/3 of GET Fund is now funding and services, free senior high school, free tertiary for education for PWDs, and many other interventions that are very, very important, but are not capital expenditure or infrastructure related. So that conversation is one that we must have in the sector.
That was the Executive Director for Education think tank EduWatch, Kofi Asare. Away from education, the Anglican Church of Ghana has joined the debate over Wesley Girls High School, affirming that mission schools have the constitutional right to maintain their religious rules, uniforms and observances. In a statement, the church backed the positions of the Catholic Bishops' Conference and Christian Council, saying institutions founded on specific moral values cannot be forced to compromise their identity. It stressed that respecting mission school autonomy is not discrimination and urged governments and the public to handle the issue judiciously. Now, Canadian High Commissioner to Ghana, Miriam Montrat, says Canada remains committed to supporting inclusive and sustainable economic growth, particularly for women and youth. She notes that Canada is refocusing its foreign policy on trade, diversification, and peace and security partnerships. Speaking during a media engagement in Accra, Miriam Montrat explained that this approach will create more opportunities for Canadian and Ghanaian businesses to collaborate and generate decent jobs in both countries. You're still watching the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead, we look forward to the Channel 1 TV's and Citi FM's Agri Fair, which begins tomorrow, November 28 to Sunday, November 30. But before that, Agro Kings Producers of Nana's Rise has praised Citi FM and Channel 1 TV's Agri-Fair for boosting agribusiness visibility, sales and industry collaboration. The second edition of the fair runs from Friday 27 November to Sunday November 30 at the Fort Sutherland Children's Park from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Now, speaking on Citi Breakfast Show, General Manager of Agro Kings, Angela Ban, says the experience at the first fair was highly rewarding.
Interacting with our direct customers, getting the feedback from them directly, even getting the encouragement and the praise.
Keep
wow,
doing
we
it.
can't believe this. And then also getting to know our fellow local producers or local service providers is very important. You know, we are always on our little farm by ourselves. So these fairs give us the opportunity to meet them, share our similar challenges or similar successes, encourage each other. So we are bringing our rice, of course. We'll bring the cereal.
And the rice, there are types. The green, which is the broken.
The broken, and then the red,
long which is the long green.
Yes, yes. So we'll bring those.
All grown in Ghana.
All grown in Ghana.
Good.
By us.
That was the General Manager of Agro Kings, Angela Bands. Additionally, Kedan Limited is also promising a reduction in the prices of their products at tomorrow's Agri-Fair.
What we are exhibiting is wholly maize-based products.
Maize-based products?
Maize-based products.
Okay.
That we have a ked maize granular.
Ked maize granular. For Ekwegbemi.
That one for Ekwegbemi. It can also serve as a close substitute for rice water.
Correct.
For instance, at the secondary school level, for instance.
When they are doing rice water for them, they can do this one.
So instead of doing rice water all the time,
you can do
this.
Ekwegbemi.
Yeah, and this is even cheaper than the rice, and it's even more nutritious.
So it's cheaper. So a bag of this will be cheaper than rice. How much is this one? Are you serious? A kilo is 10 cedi.
One unique thing about our products is that actually it has both domestic and industrial use.
You heard Eric Dankwakisi. He is the founder of Kedan Limited. Let's stay with Agri-Fair. The Development Bank Ghana, a key sponsor of the November 2025 Agri-Fair, says it will engage participating agribusinesses on strategies to expand and strengthen their operations. Head of Investor Relations, Gertrude Kunde, told Breakfast Daily that DBG remains committed to providing tailored financing and technical assistance across the agricultural value chain. She says agribusiness is central to DBG's mandate, given its potential for job creation, food security, and economic growth.
Our CEO, Professor Randolph Ambola, will actually be present himself, and he'll be there with the executive as well. This particular fair, they want to be there to interact directly with the farmers, the processors, the stakeholders that would be coming. So we'd encourage you to visit our stand and let us know how we can actually put products that actually will suit your needs. So I will be there, and I hope you will all be there as well.
Head of Investor Relations at Development Bank Ghana, Gertrude Kunde. In a related development, the Chief Executive Officer of Mordecai Farms, Seth Boachidankwa, has assured patrons that his company will showcase a range of high-quality products at the fair. He revealed that Mordecai Farms will present well-dried fish, fresh vegetables, and other farm produce, all sourced and processed under strict quality standards to meet consumer expectations.
We'll be coming for the fair tomorrow with our products. So please, we seek your patronage. This is made in Ghana, FDA approved. The vegetables are organic from the effluent. We don't waste anything at the farm. It's sustainable, and we're creating jobs.
Okay.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of Mordecai Farms, Seth Boachidankwa, looking ahead to Agri-Fair 2025. Before we head out of the studio, the West Africa Network for Peace Building says ECOWAS is being weakened by growing political instability, insecurity, and violent extremism across the region. The concerns follow the recent military takeover in Guinea-Bissau, which disrupted the electoral process and reportedly led to the detention of President Umaro Sissoco Embalo. Speaking on Citi News, coordinator for ONEP Ghana, Albert Yelang, says such developments threaten to erode years of democratic progress and urged ECOWAS to intensify efforts to safeguard regional stability.
There appears to be a trend in most of these countries, especially
Francophone West Africa. And so it adds to the list of countries that are currently under military regimes. You recall that we have Mali, we have Burkina Faso, we have Niger, and
that was the voice of the national coordinator of the West Africa Network for Peace Building, Albert Yelang. Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka. For more news, log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I'm Charles Osukumi. Thank you for your time.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.